What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Membership Masters podcast. I'm your host, Shane Sams, returning to the airwaves from a 3-week bout of COVID-19. The pandemic finally got me. It knocked me off schedule, and I had to reschedule a bunch of my shows. But guess what? One of those guys I had to reschedule was my friend Nick Loper from Side Hustle Nation, and we finally got back here on the air, and we are back and ready to rock today. We're going to talk about a lot of amazing topics on today's Membership Masters podcast. Nick is an expert at top of funnel, getting leads, getting people into your Facebook groups, getting people into your email system, getting people on to your website. And I know that our conversation today is going to help you get more leads, because more leads equal more members equal more money every single month. We also talk about an awesome strategy for Amazon books. If you've ever wanted to write a book, if you've ever wanted to use the Amazon platform to grow your business, Nick is doing it in a way that I have not seen many other people do it. And he is making it happen every single day over on Amazon. This is a super fun conversation with my good friend, Nick Loper. I know you're going to enjoy it. But before we get started, just want to ask you one question. You ready to become a membership master today? All right, let's go. Welcome to the Membership Masters podcast, brought to you by membershipmasters.com. This is the podcast where we teach you how to get and keep more members every single month. I've helped thousands of people start, build, and grow memberships, and I interview some of the biggest membership owners anywhere online. My goal is to help you build $1 million membership of your own. Brick by brick, let's do it together. Come on. Nick Loper, finally, we are together in the same place and not rescheduling.
Hey,
how's it going, man?
It's all good, man. You recovering?
Dude, I'm telling you, man, this COVID thing was not fun. I really, have you had it? Have you had it yet? Like,
I have not. You're one of several internet friends who has caught it and shared that sentiment. Like, if you can avoid it, avoid it.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm a big live your life person. We got to live our life. I'm not scared of it, even after having it now. You know what I mean? But my life has been shut down for 3 weeks. I mean, my business, my life, my wife's life, she had COVID. My son had COVID. He was 12. And for all them saying kids don't really get affected by it, boy, my son was down for 3 or 4 days pretty hard, and he's still pretty tired, you know? Yeah. And I tell you, following up with the pneumonia, Jocelyn did not get pneumonia. I did so COVID can cause pneumonia.
Yeah.
And there's just nothing they can do. They got this steroid now they give you that trying to help you recover a little bit. And there was about 5 days there, dude. I couldn't talk. Just no words out of my mouth. I mean, wear your masks, people, and just take your vitamin C.
Any sense of where you picked it up?
You know, yeah. I mean, we wore our masks and we did our thing, but we did travel to Colorado for an event.
Okay.
It was a business thing, and we got into the place. They did temperature checks, and there were lots of meals and stuff where there were no masks. You know,
okay.
When we got back, someone put in the group, "Hey guys, I've started feeling bad. I've got COVID," and about 40% of the people at the event got it.
Oh my gosh!
So when they say like super spreader, it's no joke. Like this thing, if you're in the room with somebody that has it, you're going to get it. And then Jocelyn came home, man, and she laid down and she got sick for 5 straight days and slept, never got out of bed. Yeah. And then I got it, and then my son got it, and then she got a little better when I got a little worse. And then I was in the hospital for a little bit, and it was bad news, dude. Yeah.
Seriously. Ugh.
Yeah. I mean, dude, it sucks to shut your business down like that, you know? Like, but thank God
and we should point out, this is an online business. I mean, for all of the brick and mortar people who have been just decimated this year.
Dude, I'm like going to post on my Facebook page, like to all my single friends, single moms or dads or anybody, and just be like, look, I'm better now. I'm getting better. If you get this, don't do this alone. I can't imagine. Dude, there was one day where I was passed out in my guest bedroom. Jocelyn was passed out in our master bedroom. My son was passed out in his bedroom. and my daughter, who's 9 years old, was the only one not sick. She never caught it, and she was just on her own. And
self-sufficient, let nature take its course. Oh my
it
gosh.
really was, man. It was like we were out like hunting mastodons, and Dad went down, and
oh my gosh.
yeah. So the consequences of all of us getting it. My team, though, they really stepped up, man. I'm really glad that I've got a team, and that if there's ever been they really buckled down and held down the fort and kept anything from going backwards, right?
Yeah.
And thank God it was an online business, man. But I mean, I didn't work. I assure you, I couldn't type. I couldn't watch Netflix. I was so sick.
Ugh.
Yeah, man. So
well, sorry to hear it, and happy to hear that you're recovering. Happy to hear that your daughter somehow escaped this fate.
Super immunity. She's the super immune system. So, well, let's talk and hang out. I'm ready to turn the page on COVID in my life forever, dude. So, and dude, I want to get to know you more, man, because it's been awesome connecting with you lately, and you come and you invited me on your show, and we talked a little bit there, but man, I just want to just learn as much as I can about you today, and you got some amazing things going too. That it's all online business. The thing we sell is memberships, but all these things you're doing, you got some really cool strategies to grow audience and lists, which is a really hard problem for people, right? But dude, tell me more about you. Like, how'd you get in the online game in the first place, and how did Side Hustle Nation even become a thing?
Oh my gosh, we want to go way back,
dude. We're in a time machine. Let's just go way back.
My first foray into the online world was with direct link pay-per-click affiliate marketing. 2004, 2005.
Oh my gosh, you're a dinosaur. I'm gonna start calling you T-Rex.
Yeah, I get that a lot. And what it was trying to sell specific models of shoes. And I had interned at a online shoe retailer at Seattle. That was my first exposure to e-commerce and affiliate marketing and SEO and all this stuff. It was really cool to have that kind of on the ground floor, which this company, the whole online part of their business was like a side hustle from this old brick and mortar shop that they've been running for generations, family owned company. And then, they had the wild and crazy idea to put some of their inventory online and see what would happen. And now they got, they had this huge warehouse and stuff by the time I came on. But that was the start of it. That was the way of, firing bullets before firing cannonballs, in good to great speak. I could test out these ads with a budget. I was still in college, so I was starting out with a budget of $1 a day. Is anybody going to click on this? Is anybody going to buy my stuff? Okay. After that was proven out, the challenge there was I found it hard to scale because prices were always changing, and I didn't want to be promoting the company that no longer had the best price, and inventory was always going out of stock. Shoes was a very seasonal thing, or you'd click on it and you'd be like, well, they got a size 7.5 and a size 14. And you're like, well, that's not the greatest selection in the world. Probably not going to see a lot of conversions on that. But what ended up happening was I reasoned that people were going to, my reasoning was if I could build a database, if I could build the comparison shopping site for footwear, in contrast to a Price Grabber or a Next Tag or a shopping.com that existed in that era, it was no, I'll be the go-to destination just for shoes. And because of that, we'll be able to have, tighter algorithms. I don't know what. And we could do cool, product level coupon integration, which was a ton of fun. Here's the sticker price, but hey, we found these deals for you. And we'd, bake that into the comparison calculator and stuff. And that was the vehicle that I ran nights and weekends for 3 years working corporate. That was the thing that let me quit my job once it eventually was covering my expenses. And I was heads down in the footwear world for years and years.
I did not know that. I did not know. That's amazing. What an interesting story of a random niche of just getting sucked into. But once you hit a nail, you're like, hammer the nail. This thing is actually working, right? Did you program the whole thing yourself? How did you do that?
I hired a programming team. So I was living in Northern Virginia at the time. I put it up for bid on guru.com, and it turned, one of the bids that came back was this guy half an hour away from me in Northern Virginia. And so I went over to his apartment, Indian guy. We hashed out this deal. He was kind of the US sales front, and the rest of his team was in India. And worked with this guy for a decade. It was a really cool relationship that was just, from some random job posting. I think once he found out it was just me, and I was probably 22, 23 or so. I don't know, I was young at the time. And once he found out it was me and not some like big company, he was like, okay, I'll cut you a deal. On
right. Are you, do you still have that site, or have you got rid of it, or do you sell it, or?
I don't. I wish I had sold it at its peak. It operated in the margin between the cost of traffic and what that traffic was worth in terms of conversions and affiliate commissions. And over the course of 8, 9, 10 years, the cost of traffic on AdWords went up significantly as more players came into the game.
That's right, man.
And good on Google. Like, it's an auction-based system. Like, well, if the traffic is profitable at 25 cents, like, competitors like, well, I'll bid 26. And so
right.
slowly the margin goes to Google, and good for them. They built the system. It was my bad for not, reinvesting into SEO and other sources of traffic, but that was the game that I played. And at the same time, on the commission side, early on, these retailers were heavily investing in the affiliate channel as a customer acquisition channel, saying, okay, maybe we'll lose money on this first order, but then they're going to be our customer and we can sell them shoes. We can sell them shoes for the whole family. And that was their game. And then over time, they kind of reeled that back in as the focus became more on, short-term profitability.
So was it like a slow death, or did you get hit by one of the like Google slaps all of a sudden? Or like, did you look up one day and you're like, yeah, this is not going to work anymore, and you had to like turn it off? Because I've had that happen in a business that we ran. Like we had a football coaching business. It was a little different scenario, but like I kind of think I got ahead of the playbook game before like everybody figured out didn't have to be Nick Saban to sell something in the football world, right? And like I could feel it like, I don't want to fight this anymore, and I kind of just let it go. Is that kind of what happened, or did something go away?
Eventually it was kind of this long, slow, painful death where we tried to, 80-20 the crap out of this. Like, we had an inventory or database of close to 500,000 shoes, but only a fraction of those ever got, viewed or clicked on. Like, what if we just got rid of all these brands that nobody's ever heard of and just like focus on the top 100, top 200 brands? And, because we were churning up all this like bandwidth and processing power on a daily basis. It's just, it didn't end up working. Like, the writing was on the wall. Like, my VA started earning more than me some months, and I was like, oh, no. I don't know. But to your point about the Google slaps, that definitely happened over the course of this business too, because it was so reliant on one source of traffic. This was actually my first day of self-employment. Like, I'd finally gotten up the nerve to quit my day job, turn in the keys to my company car, and just kind of like, all right, visions of margaritas on the beach and 4-hour work week lifestyle kind of like naively in my young head. And that very first day, fire up the laptop and Google is like, you can't advertise with us anymore.
Oh, no. Like the day you quit, what? Basically
my first day of self-employment. Thankfully, it wasn't the actual day I gave my notice, because I probably would have been like, time out. Can I have my 2 weeks? Can I have that back, please? But the line had been drawn in the sand, and it was just, it was a mess. It was 3 months that summer trying to get back into their good graces. They said, hey, look, you're just an affiliate site. The sole purpose of your site is to drive traffic to other sites. I'm like, Google, look in the mirror. What does Google do? And they're just, they were, did you tell anybody when that happened? Like your family? Or anybody? Yeah. Were you like, guys, that thing that I said was awesome? Well, the day I quit, it fell apart. Like, I might have to go sweep some tables somewhere or something. Yeah, Bryn knew about it. She was supportive throughout. I mean, she kept her job. I mean, she still has her job. So there was always that kind of like, okay, can we live on one income?
That's good. So you had a safety net. Yeah.
So there was some savings. There was a safety net, but it was just like, you couldn't have said something the previous 2 years. You didn't have a problem, and now all of a sudden this doesn't meet your, arbitrary quality guidelines. And
dude, isn't that how it works though? Like you get these grand schemes, like, because you've been in the game. When was that? What year was that you?
That was 2008.
2008. Okay, so you've been going for a while. We've been going since 2012, and like, dude, there's just these moments. Like even when I had COVID last couple of weeks, I'm like, well, I guess this is it. I'm going to die and all this is going to fall apart, or I'm going to come back. And I was like, are my lungs actually going to work again? And like, am I going to be able to I've built my entire business around me running my mouth on shows. But you just get these moments where it always feels like the world is going to crash and it's all going to go away. I was talking to a buddy of mine the other day. He's going to do 5 million this year, and he still feels that way. It's all just going to go away. And I'm like, I've just realized lately that's part of it. Like, if you can't accept that feeling, you really can't go all in on your side hustle. You got to just say, hey, there's going to be really bad days, and there's going to be days we may have to punt, and it's going to feel really bad. But once you get over that hump, now it's just like you said, it's the line in the sand. Like, no, I'm not trying this. I'm doing this. Right.
Yeah, that's a good distinction. There's a Jimmy Buffett song called like "If It All Falls Down," and he talks about, he's had this great life. If it all falls down, I've had my fun. It's gonna be okay, and you can always rebuild. So that was kind of what happened. Like, we spent the summer revamping the site. Eventually, they came back and said, "Oh, it looks like we made an error. You're good to go." And it was like,
yeah,
that was it. Like, that was a really expensive error for me, health-wise, stress-wise, financially. And it's like, screen cap that email, print a hard copy just in case I ever need this to come back to me.
Yeah. Like, look, you made the mistake, not me. Says it right here. Your guy did it. So what did you do when it died? Like, so that's the first catastrophe, but so you come back from that, you all reset the table, but then you see this thing dying. What happened after that? Because you're still the side hustle guy. You're still Side Hustle Nation, right? You're still online. You're still doing it. So it didn't go away when the shoe thing went away, right? What happened next?
So during the call it the footwear era or whatever, it was always starting other side projects, and most of those failed. But one I recently sold. It was a site called Virtual Assistant. It was not an elementary librarian sized exit, but it was like, it was a decent sized exit for me for a site that I started in 2011. That was Yelp for outsourcing companies. Basically, like, if I need a virtual assistant, where do I go? Here's some customer ratings on how to pick the right one. Started a personal blog in 2009, which morphed into Side Hustle Nation in 2013, and started the podcast at that same time to I don't know, like, I just, I found I really enjoyed the writing and blogging aspect. And so I thought to myself, I know, I'll start a personally branded blog. It's like awful idea, even in 2013. But what took off was the podcast. It was like, I don't want to do video. Like, I barely even want to do audio, but it's like, if I can point the mic at somebody else, that was the way that I got over the hump for that. And the show took off way faster than the blog did. And so that's kind of, when I go to events now, they're like, "Oh, Side Hustle Show. Like, I know you from that."
Yeah, man. And it's interesting, like, hearing the second thing, it was kind of a similar, rubber stamp of the first thing. It was a different niche, but you were still doing the reviews, pointing people to where they needed to go, serving them that way. Did you do like affiliates for the VA company or something like that? Or
so that was similar. So it was kind of like a lead generation affiliate model. Hey, you send us a customer, we'll send you $100.
Oh, that's awesome. So generate that traffic, get people pushed where they would go. You're generating the traffic. And then as you do podcasting, and then you do write your blog, and you've got like 3 things. I'm gonna go ahead and bring these up right now, because I think we can piggyback this a little bit. Like, you've got this Facebook group I've been in it now for like a month or 2, I think. And it's the cleanest Facebook group I've been in. Like, I don't see, it's not there's always people trying to spam their way into a Facebook group. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But I have found that your group, and I study this because I go in groups trying to figure out how to not let ours become spammy, right? And like, your group's really good. Like, people post pretty helpful things. Most people give a lot of helpful comments, and you've got this really active, huge Facebook group. And one thing that we talked about when I was talking to you on your show is these Amazon books that you write, right?
Yeah.
And like, you've got these like Amazon books out there. I noticed, I think I see a scar being peeled off from your original thing. You said something earlier. So you said one traffic source. That's what got you. You had that one thing, and if anything fudged on that one traffic source. But now it feels like, well, you've got a podcast, you blog, you've got the Facebook group, you've got these Amazon books. You've really created this like go wide, almost mud on the wall, like lead strategy. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I feel like I'm pretty decent at top of the funnel stuff, and maybe less good at actually coming up with something to sell.
Right.
But the
That's my
nature,
problem. I can find out the product and then I can't build the audience. So we need to get together. We need to work more.
I mean, the nature, and for most people, that's a big problem. But because of either because of the niche or because of the size of the audience at this point, the advertising and affiliate relationship is more than enough to make a pretty good living. So it's ended up working out. I don't know. You want to talk about the self-publishing stuff, or which one is?
I'll tell you what. Let's talk about the podcast first. Well, no, you know what? It all kind of is related. So let's talk about the self-publishing because I think that's fascinating. You've got multiple books on Amazon, right? Which is amazing to me because I've been trying to write one book for a year and it's impossible. And like you've got all these things, but you do this primarily to get discovered, correct? You write. It's almost like an SEO strategy in Amazon to get more people to discover your brand.
Yeah, early on there was definitely a profit motive, and when I'd make $100 in book royalties or $500 a month in book royalties, like that was significant to me at the time, and if I'm being honest, like it still is. Like it feels cool that somebody like bought they paid money for your thing, and that's cool. But what where I've seen the shift in Amazon is more of this search engine. It's more of this discovery platform where somebody is typing in your keyword into this, which I think is like the third or fourth largest search engine in the country traffic wise. And in striking difference from Google and YouTube, and maybe Facebook is the third one. It's a search engine for buyers. Like people are ready to spend money. They've got the one-click ordering. They've got their credit cards already programmed in. And so if they're searching for your keyword, are they going to find you? And for a long time, I didn't have any side hustle related books out there. And so, started out with repurposing some of the podcast content, started creating, you sense themes over doing certain episodes. And so that was the kind of thesis of the Buy Buttons book, which was in 2016.
Wait, so you took podcast transcripts and just rewrote them into a book? Is that what you're saying? Or did you just like use them as the feeder to write the book?
So it was kind of like the foundation of it.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. That's a smart thing to do, dude.
Especially for the first series that I put up a series called The Side Hustle Path. And I was already creating these podcast episode summaries as lead magnets anyways. I was like, well, and somebody was like, well, you don't have any side hustle books. Like you're the side hustle guy. It's like, well, I can solve that problem. Let me slap 10 of these together, intro, outro, some transition stuff, clean them up a little bit. And those did okay. But the more concerted efforts were like most recently, like I think last year I updated a book called just The Side Hustle, right? It's like very like keyword, like if somebody types in side hustle, I want them to find this book. It is permanently free on Amazon, which is you got to jump through a couple hoops to make that happen. Basically, they most of the time will honor a price match request. So you have to list it on another marketplace for free, and then write into support and say, hey, it's free over here. Would you mind price matching it? And then don't mess with it because that's kind of what they did. And that's been, it generates 30, 40, 50 downloads a day at this point.
Jeez, that's crazy.
And not all, because it's Amazon's customer, it's not your customer. So you have to kind of give people a compelling reason to come check out your stuff. And so throughout the book is stories from the podcast. If you want to listen to the full interview, come over here. If you want to jump in the Facebook group, the water's warm. If you want to jump on the email list, I'll send you this thing. And so that's kind of this really evergreen lead magnet. I want to say it's over 300 reviews on Amazon. So it's like, it ranks very well consistently for that keyword. And then kind of like in the realm of like free entrepreneurship books, if somebody wants to drill down by category.
Yeah. And the cool thing about this is amazing, dude. I got to do this. And like, are these long books? They're not all long books, especially the short ones, right? They are the first ones.
The first ones were not. The first ones were probably sub 20,000 words, maybe 15,000 words.
What's Side Hustle? How big was it?
I want to guess probably in the 35,000 range.
That's still pretty reasonable to write. You know what I'm saying? And I love this strategy too, because like, it's not like a blog or even a pod. Like there's a barrier to entry to get these leads, right? Like you have to put the work in and jump through Amazon's hoops. So like if you put in the time and effort and energy to get in there, there's going to be less competition to rank for. Like there's going to be a top 10 and there's going to be a thing to scroll, and just like there would be on a Google search. But not everybody's going to sit down and write a 30,000 word thing and put it online. And not everyone's going to put in the effort and the thought process to say, hey, the 30 people that downloaded this, I'm going to try to get 5 to 10 of them to click over and join my Facebook group or get on my email list. Now I got them. I've got actual people who downloaded a book and really are dedicated to maybe going down this rabbit hole with me.
Yeah, hopefully that's like if you can get into this ecosystem with as little friction as possible. I mean, that's the thing. It's like if the next guy down the list is a $10 book, like, okay, yeah, maybe they'll buy that one too, and that's fine. But hopefully by putting it free, it reduces that friction at the very early stages. I just looked at 32,000 words for that one, and I will be upfront because you say like, look, it's a struggle to write a book. It is a struggle to write that book. You open up that doc and it's like blank page and like blinking cursor. And what I found has been really helpful is to repurpose existing content. So for one of the books, I was able to at least start off with this blog post and say, okay, there's 7,000 words. It was a monster blog post, but I was like, oh, at least here's 7,000 words. So it's like, it doesn't feel like starting from scratch, and you kind of fill in the gaps and build in around that stuff. And of course, it's not just straight copy and paste. There's editing and stuff that happens. But for me, that really accelerates the process. It makes it a little easier to get started, to bite off that project than to just be like, all right, buckle up. Let's
start from
chapter one.
Chapter one, in the beginning, right? It's like, what? I don't know what to do. Like, I think I could even listen to my old, like I've been on so many podcasts. Like, how you like go on a podcast and you tell the same story, but you tell it better this time than you told it last. You know what I'm saying? Like something just clicked better, the mood, the inflection, because we all say a lot of the same things when we go on different podcast interviews.
Yeah.
Like even just like, I remember that one podcast where I told that one story really good. Just listen to it and just start typing and try to get it on paper as you're listening to yourself tell that old story. Like, I think that would help me like to get things like on paper faster. I like though that you even did topical stuff, because sometimes you're in a groove of doing something. Like one thing we're doing right now is we're setting up a coaching program, right? A new, we call it our roundtable coaching program. And it's something that we've had like iterations of over the years. Like we've had, we did it this way one time and we did it that way one time, but then we closed it down because we wanted to take a break and whatever. But like, even when you're in the, like if I was going to say, hey, here's how you set up a coaching program. Like we've got it figured out now. We know what we want it to look like so that it's not overwhelming with scheduling and things like that. You could do a book called How to Set Up a Coaching Program. And as you're just in the moment with something like, man, maybe I can crank this out, get a 20,000, 30,000 word book on a process. Yeah. And I'll throw that up there. And now if somebody searches how to set up a coaching program, you're in the mix. You got another lead source. You're not dependent on the mercies of the universe sending people to your website anymore. Tell me why you went the Amazon route, and tell me why you focus so much on your Facebook group. This is another thing I'm a little confused about, because I funnel hacked you a little bit here this morning. Okay, nice. and I went down, I go down your rabbit hole, and I love I can see all the doors coming into the site. I can see the podcast. I can see the Amazon, this amazing book strategy, this thing. Like I can see blog posts. I can see all these things happening. And when I get to your website, there's this thing that says join. And I noticed that you do ask people to get on your email list, but the very first thing on every page of your site seems to be get in this Facebook group, like join this Facebook group. Like why have you decided in this 2020, like why are you going so all in on that? Why is that the first thing you ask for in your list of things? Because for me, I'm always like, please give me your name and email. I just want to send you an email. I love to email you. I love when you check my emails. We're good friends. But like you're really going all in on this group, and we have a growing group, and I think that we could do something with it, right? But like, why the group? Is it just lower friction, barrier to entry? Like,
yeah, maybe it is a lower friction. I don't know. It's probably worth a refresh, because I don't see Facebook lasting forever. So there's certainly a risk building on that platform. But for the time being, it is a cool way to really hammer home the point. Like, look, you are not alone, because email is still one to many. What's cool about the group, the same as the podcast, same as the blog, like it's me broadcasting out to you. What's cool about the group is it's all of a sudden many to many, and the conversations and questions that can be answered without my direct involvement. Like that's really cool to see those connections. And there's still hopefully like a little sliver in people's mind, like, okay, I'm at the hub of that, or Side Hustle Nation is at the hub of that. Like that was the thing that brought this community together, I think that's a powerful place to be. But you're right. There is, I should probably prioritize the email in advance of that. The interesting thing is, Facebook is a discovery channel on its own, similar to Amazon. And it took me a long time to, in fact, for the first several years, the group was not even called Side Hustle Nation. I think it was like SH Nation, because I was self-conscious that, people who had day jobs wouldn't want to join a group called Side Hustle Nation.
Right.
It's like, okay, get over that. But I was shooting myself in the foot in some way. When people searched side hustle, like in Facebook, they probably wouldn't find it. And so since opening the doors to that search traffic, and the reason for doing it really was kind of somebody forced my hand. They set up another group called Side Hustle Nation. I was like,
oh no,
damn you trademark lawyers who said I couldn't register this. But it was like, no, this is the official group. It's got 25,000 members. You don't need this guy with 200, come on. This is the official group. This is where you want to be. And I'll ask people when they join, like, how did you hear about it? And a huge percentage say Facebook search. And so that's another top of the funnel. From there, it's like, okay, check out the podcast, subscribe, check out the email list, subscribe, check out the blog content, subscribe over there. So it's a way to reach a new audience who hasn't found the website first. Maybe they found the group first.
So you really just, everything is top of funnel to you. Like it sounds like it's not necessarily that you prioritize the email list or you prioritize even the Facebook group. You're doing kind of all the things, but you're kind of like, this is really smart. It's like, well, I'm on Facebook. How are people going to find me on Facebook? That's the top of the funnel. And then later I could ask for an email, right?
Yeah.
Or it's like they found my blog. Okay, well, what's the first? All right, fine, you made it here. Now I'll ask you for your email. That was the top of the funnel, was Google search. Or Amazon. It's like, well, I've got to hit something in every chapter because I might have a podcast listener, I might have a Facebook user. I don't know who's reading the book, so each chapter I'm just going to give them a way to go farther down the rabbit hole to where you just keep expanding, and you've got multiple places where you've gathered all your people. So really, if Facebook did shoot your Facebook group down, you've still got your email list, you've still got Amazon. If Amazon deranked your book, you've still got your blog, you've still got your podcast. So you're just creating redundancy in your audience is what you're
I mean, that first Google slap really, woke me up to, you got to diversify. And I will be the first to say, like, simplify first, diversify second. Like, find the one thing that works, double down on that, like, milk it, because it might not last forever. But as you are doing that, if you can, allocate a certain percentage of your time to exploring new channels, just in case, right? Just in case. I don't know, you connected with Abby Ashley at all? She runs a group called VA Savvies. I think it's Virtual Assistant Savvy is her site, or VA Savvy. But she uses the Facebook group as the top of the funnel. Somebody searches virtual assistant, how to become a virtual assistant. She's got like 50,000, I don't know. She's got a huge group there. And it funnels people into her evergreen webinar, into her paid products. And it's just like, she's built this community without relying on having a podcast of her own, without relying on having, a huge YouTube presence of her own. It's like Facebook and Pinterest for her.
Wow, that's amazing. I know a girl named Brittany Long. She has a thing for teachers. It's kind of a side hustle thing. It's like for teachers who want to have a side hustle, like in the summer and stuff. And she's all Facebook too. Like, it's amazing watching her do. Like, she doesn't podcast or anything. She just, as far as I know, she just goes live in that group, and that's like her jam. And it's named something like teachers who want to start a side hustle gig or something. Like, it's so overt. Like, that's our Facebook group. See, it says Flip Lifestyle. So I think it doesn't say like what it really is. It's just like, if you're looking for us, you'll find us, and we get people in it, of course.
Yeah. You could have you could add like lifestyle business or something.
Yeah.
If somebody would be searching for that.
Or in parentheses, I could put like parents who want a lifestyle business.
Yeah. Online business for parents or something. Yeah.
Yeah. I know there's something there. I gotta get my team meeting 4:00. Nick, give me an idea. Tell me though about how you monetize. And I'm going to ask you the question that I always ask people is like, dude, why do you not have a membership? You have a huge audience, man. You know what I'm saying? And like, I love bringing different people onto this podcast. It's called Membership Masters, but it's really just to get ideas for how we can all grow our businesses. We just happen to have a lot of people that do memberships. Right. Yeah. And like, but dude, like how do you monetize now? I think podcast ads is like a big thing for you, right?
Yeah. So there's sponsorships on the show, which probably starting maybe in the third year of the show started to become a thing. So that's a significant source of income today, probably between $1,000 and $2,000 per episode.
Oh, wow.
So
That's awesome.
4 episodes a week, or 4 episodes a month, rather. 4 episodes a week would be like rolling in it.
Let's go, baby.
JLD
Get some interviews
style.
going. Yeah.
And then affiliate offers through the site and through the email list. And there's some cross promotion too, like where somebody will come on the podcast and they have a product or a course, which is hopefully a good fit for listeners who want to take advantage of that.
Cool.
But those are the two main streams for a while. The third was this, this virtual assistant site, like these other kind of side hustle experiments and investments where it's like, okay, let's see if we can grow this cash somewhere else.
Yeah, that's cool, man. So do you when you say investments, do you mean like in people's companies or like stock market, or you just kind of put some money over here and do different things with it?
Yeah, mostly, in the realm of traditional investments, but also some, I don't know, I play around with different platforms like Fundrise and some of these other random real estate ones.
Do you find it hard to get sponsorships for your podcast? Affiliates are kind of cool because you just relationships. I mean, you're like, man, that sounds like my people would love that, and they're doing a promotion. I should sell it. You know what I'm saying? Because I got a big list. But like, do you find the podcast spots themselves are hard to get?
There's usually more demand than there is a stomach to promote a particular company, if that makes sense. I was nervous about this. Like, start of Q3, things were looking not so good. Like, people are like, look, we don't have any budget. We don't know what the world is going to look like. We're going to dial back this ad spend, but have already sold out, quite a few spots for Q1 of next year. So the demand has seemed to pick back up, and really grateful for some long-term partnerships with these advertisers where it's like, hey, this is clearly a good fit because you keep coming back for more, and haven't had much complaints from the audience either.
You're getting some people coming. They're getting their money back in spades. It sounds like when it comes back. Like, have you ever thought about starting like a product or a course or a membership like platform of your own to just diversify even more? And then you got ads, then you got whatever, then you got like whatever. Have you ever thought about going down that rabbit hole?
Yeah, all the time, and probably accelerated a little bit from our last chat where it's like, okay, yeah, there's something here on the membership model. I think my hang up has always been like, I am not my customer. I was never, especially early on, I was never the person to invest in online courses. Like, I'll figure it out on my own. I can hack this together.
Oh yeah. That's a
that
problem.
has shifted for the better. Like, now I understand the value of like, hey, I could tap into someone else's years of experience and shortcut this for the low price of $200, $500, whatever it is. Like, I can see the value in that, and have started to do that. The other thing, like, I don't know, like if there's a one-time purchase option, I will click that every time. Like, I do not want you to charge me every month. So
sure.
There's my personal hangups around that model. But I do think it's compelling. And I see, I mean, from Netflix to Skillshare to Membership Masters, like there's a reason that it works. And it's like this low upfront thing. You kind of become part of people's routines and lifestyle. So I see the advantages of it, and have definitely been kicking around ways, how that might look.
I've I've been so down the rabbit hole for so long. We're starting to also like go the other way a little bit to see the benefit of some a la carte offerings, to see the benefit of coaching and other things like that, like other ways to monetize this content that we all create. You know what I'm saying? But the great thing about that I've found about the membership model is, especially this year, like we talked about, advertisers pulling out, or the economy's insane and COVID is crazy and you just don't know what's going to happen. Are you going to get sick and be out for a month? What's going to happen? Like, it's nice to know there's some kind of floor, right? Like, the floor exists in our business with these hundreds of people that pay monthly subscriptions, and we have people that buy annual plans. We have people that buy lifetime plans, and then you maybe sell them something else. But like, the one thing that we've really learned this year is, man, the floor is good. The floor gives you time. If it would take 10 members to quit for $1,000 advertiser to quit, right?
Yeah.
So we're at the whim of less people, basically. And it just gives you that diversification, man, where you're diversified among people, not just products. And it's really cool because like another thing I love about it, dude. And I know one thing I've learned about you just being around you and being around people we know and lately, and like I really feel like you care about Side Hustle Nation. You care about those people. Like it's a cool thing. Like you've built this amazing like community, and you really care about like the community. You want them to be a community. You want them to get value. You know what I'm saying? And like,
Well,
it's cool. Go ahead.
No, I think, yeah, of course. I mean, I don't think you could stick around for 7 years if you're just
No,
scam
you're at the gate, baby. You're gone. As soon as you get that, once you get one of those Google slaps, you're like, well, this is too hard, and I don't care. I'm out.
Yeah.
Right. But the cool thing is when you figure out a path for them, right? And the membership model, what I love about it is it lets us offer things to people who may not be able to access that thing. So like a lot of people who are parents, working parents, don't have a lot of time, don't have a lot of money. It's like me and Jocelyn when we started, right? And it was hard for us to find training and to find things that we could afford even in the moment to figure stuff out, which pushes us down that rabbit hole, like you said earlier. Like, I got to figure it all out. I'm not buying this course. I can do this, right? But like part of that is I can't afford the course. I just can't. So when you offer something in a membership way where you can say, you know what, look, of course this could be $500 or $1,000, but what if we did it for $29 just to give you the opportunity, right? And then what if I just go get 1,000 people that I can give that opportunity to who wouldn't have taken another opportunity, right? Then we see people that get results that probably never would have even started. And that's why I'm really passionate about that model as a part of everybody's business. Is not only are you going to make more money and you're going to be more diversified, but also you're going to give people an opportunity to succeed that would have never taken their shot in another path. And that's pretty cool thing. You know what I'm saying?
You make a good case, sir.
That's what I'm here for, man. All right, look, I'm not gonna go forever today because I may start coughing at any minute, dude. But I just appreciate you so much, Nick Loper, man. I've loved every conversation that we've had, and dude, you're just a good dude. You're one of the good ones, man, out there in the online world, and you've built an amazing community. I admire your community. You inspire me to this Amazon book strategy. Like, I've got to get this rolling with my team because it's just so inspiring to see like what you've done with it, building your list, building your audience. And if you want to tell anybody else about where you are, your podcast and all that good stuff, the Facebook group, tell them where they can find you online and connect with you here today.
That's right. Join the email list, sign up for the forthcoming membership program. I mean,
all of the above.
I would love to have you tune into the Side Hustle Show. There's years and years of archive content. So it's kind of a choose your own adventure on what business model you're most interested in at this point. SideHustleNation.com/ideas. If you are if you're on the side of the fence where like, if I just could use a little inspiration, I could use a little creative jerk to see what else is out there. That's a good place to start. But yeah, I would love to have you come by, check it out.
And don't forget to search for Side Hustle Nation in that Facebook. Join the Facebook group because it's fun. It's one of my scroll things that makes me happy now is scrolling through that Side Hustle group, man. Listen, dude, thanks for so much for being on the show today. And we'll put links to all that stuff in the show note. I really appreciate you for being here.
You bet. Thank you.
All right, guys, that is all the time that we have for today's show. I know you had as much fun as I did on today's Membership Masters podcast. If you appreciate the work that we're doing here at Membership Masters for you and your membership-based business, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. Go leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to audio content. And please make sure you give this episode a share on your favorite social media network of choice. Help us spread the word. Help us get it out there that memberships are where it's at. And if you want to build $1 million membership of your own, I would love to help you do it every single day. All you have to do is subscribe to the Membership Masters newsletter. The Membership Masters newsletter is the #1 membership marketing newsletter in the world. Each month, I send you my exclusive top shelf print newsletter right to your mailbox. Inside, you will find step-by-step instructions on how to drive more traffic to your membership and daily instruction on how to get and keep more members every single month. Each month is written in real time and gives you everything you need to give yourself a raise every day in your membership. Membership Masters newsletter subscribers get exclusive $1 million membership funnel guides, a detailed daily marketing calendar designed exclusively for memberships, email templates and subject lines you can send to your list, as well as traffic strategies and retention tactics that keep members coming and paying month after month, year after year. I am so confident you will love the Membership Masters newsletter. I'd love to send you your first copy for free. All you have to do is go to membershipmasters.com and you can sign up for your first issue free today. Stop struggling with your membership marketing. Sign up for your first issue of the Membership Masters newsletter today for free, and I'll help you get and keep more members this month. That's all the time we have for this week. Until next time, be consistent, be prolific, be relentless. Get out there and build $1 million membership of your own. We'll see you next time.